Radio. Now on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, join host Tim Malley as he brings you the most recognizable names in the paranormal field on Fox Cities Paranormal Radio.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality.
Do you want to hear different viewpoints on the spirit world? Then join Alan Cox as he talks with his guests about their beliefs, experiences, and delve into a diverse view of life and the afterlife. Join Alan Cox for Understanding Spirit every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, here on the Paramania Radio Network. The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual hosts and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Paramania, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
You are listening to Paramania Radio.
You're listening to the ParaSearch UK radio show with your hosts Kerry Greenaway and Jay Lynch, right here on Paramania Radio.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the ParaSearch UK radio show. I'm your co-host. Who cares who I am? And I got my beautiful host on the other side of the pond, Miss Kerry Greenaway. How are you tonight, love?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Oh, same as always, getting in trouble. Imagine that.
Well, I think I'll be getting into trouble myself tonight with you guys.
Good, because we have a guest that is absolutely one of my favorite people on this earth, one of the people that I've met when I first got involved in the paranormal, who has been not only a good friend, but a good influence with me and stuff, and I love her and her crew's work. So, Miss Kitsie Duncan, how are you, lady?
I am fantabulous. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming on, and thank you, Kerry, for booking her.
You're very, very welcome. I've been watching these guys, and I think they're brilliant.
Oh, we can be annoying sometimes, but you know, it all comes down to we do this to have a good time, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, Kitsie. I did a little self-promotion here, and I went and sent them a link from season 1, episode 2.
Sweet.
Which was Post Town, wasn't it? Let's explore this. Let's get into this straight away, being as Jay's brought it to the table. This was Post Town.
Yes, yes, and that's when we first met Kitsie and her crew and everything. I came over, and it was a fabulous time. And her and I can't wait for Teresa to get back because her and Teresa worked a lot together that night. I pretty much stayed out of the picture as much as possible.
You know, speaking of Teresa, can I just bring this up off the bat? I didn't even know I was an empath or sensitive or had any kind of special abilities until Teresa took me aside and told me that I did. So I owe a lot to Teresa.
She just tries to help people. She's gotten amazing with what she does, and if I don't know if you've been seeing it, she's also got into doing energy healing and loves it. She just loves to help. And I don't know. She puts up with me, so she knows she's used to helping poor dumb animals. So.
You got a good one there. You hold on to that one.
31 years we've been together, and I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, that's so lovely.
What? Nobody else is going to put up with me. We all know this.
So, Kitsie, why? First question then to you on that comment. Why did you not realize this about yourself?
Honestly, I thought about this a lot, and I think I just blocked it out. Ghosts, horror, anything like that terrified me as a child. I grew up in a haunted house, come to find out, as I was about to move out and start my life. But I just blocked it out because it terrified me. And we were doing the walkthrough with Teresa for the Post Town episode. It was my number 2 investigation ever. So, and we're walking on the top floor of the school, and all of a sudden I felt like I was going to pass out. My heart was racing, and I had no idea what was going on. Well, at that time, I don't think the portal's there anymore, but at that time there was a portal right there. And she goes, "Oh, do you want to know what you're feeling?" I said, "Yes, please tell me." She goes, "I think you're sensitive." So I've done so much research since then, and I've let it happen. I've let it in, and sometimes it's pretty scary, but 9 times out of 10, it's more comforting. And I wish I would have done it a long time ago.
Okay. Do you find that you've become, over time, because obviously that was very early in your experiences, do you find that it's easier now?
Yes, depending on the location. Because last 2 locations I've been at, I don't know if I've got something blocking me right now. I mean, last night we had investigated haunted Higginsport School. And I was getting names that were verified by evidence we were receiving. But that was it. I just couldn't put my finger on who was what. I had a dream before the investigation about the music teacher there. And I got her name. I could tell you exactly what she looked like. But I didn't sense her when I was there. So I'm like, okay. So I call my sensitivity my crazy, because I don't have a firm grasp on it yet. So I asked the guy who gave us the tour about Mrs. Martin, who was a music teacher there. And he's like, I don't know. So maybe I am crazy. Maybe it is a gift. I don't know. And then we were at Cripple Creek, Colorado the week prior to that. And I just got nothing when I was there. It was really weird. I don't know if they don't want me to know. Is that a thing? Do we know?
Yeah, it is, because at the end of the day, this is a question I would like to ask you on that. Do you research your location before you, investigate?
We don't. I used to, but I haven't for quite some time.
Okay, so that's quite useful, because when you go, if you are a sensitive, if you go into a location and you've researched, you're always double doubting yourself. Exactly. And it can lead to blocks. Whereas when you don't research and you go to a location, then you're more open at a location. So maybe it's a self-block that you're putting there, because you're trying to, it's haunted. It's almost like a psychological block you put there.
Yeah.
What do you think?
And I've done
what I was going to interject here is Teresa's actually getting ready to join us, and it's kind of like the perfect timing, because we was talking about, she was just recently at haunted Higginsport School, and it was like something shut her abilities down there. She really ended up coming through. What was your experience with that at Higginsport, Teresa?
That happened to Kitsie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Here we go. I'm just going to I'm turn off my mic and go play in the chat rooms, because trust me, this is where Kerry and Kitsie and Teresa talk, and Jay just goes look stupid in the corner. Bing.
Hi, Kitsie.
Hi, beautiful. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. I was telling them that you were the one that made me realize I was an empath back in the day. So thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. Welcome to the family.
Thank you. I'm still honing skills and trying to figure it out, but it's been very interesting.
Yes. Now, so what did you think about Higginsport?
It's an amazing building. I can't wait till they clean it up, to be perfectly honest. I don't want to. I mean, I know they just opened it recently and they're still working on it, but if I start coughing, it's because I was investigating late in the dust last night. But I think it has great potential there. It's, so active.
Right.
So many sounds. I've never been in a location like that before, where you go to one end of the hall, there's noises at the opposite end. You go to that end, the noises are on the other end of the hall.
Right.
Absolutely insane.
And the spirits there don't hesitate to come right up to you.
I felt like they did. I don't know why. Just every location's different.
That's true.
You were shut down most of the night that night.
I was.
I actually had something rush me
That's what I was referring to when I said come right up to you, because it didn't happen to
because
me.
I've actually been opening up to things and being less defensive, and I actually had a shadow rush me. It's pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
I got excited. I went and got Teresa. Like, come here, let's get this. Do it again. Come get me. Come on, do it.
Really you. Do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it again. Do it again. I dare you.
But it was weird because I when we finished the investigation, I told Jay and Michelle, a friend of ours that was there with us, I said, this is weird. I was completely shut down. I wasn't able to see or hear or feel anything.
I got a couple names that were confirmed via a flashlight session, which was really neat.
Oh, wow.
And I had a dream prior to the investigation, which I have happened sometimes, but I couldn't connect with her there.
Oh, wow.
The lady I had the dream about. It was odd.
Yeah.
But it's newly investigated. I mean, it's only been investigated for like 6 months, correct?
Right. Correct.
So I don't know if they know how to deal with us yet, if that makes sense.
That makes complete sense to me.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like, hey, what's going on? Why are these people here? And, oh, crap, you mean they can see me or they can hear me?
Yeah.
I got some stuff to say. Yeah,
The
but
EVPs were plenty there.
right. And see, and I got all kinds. I did what I called rescue missions all night because there were people that we were there with. We were there with a group of what, Jay? 13, 14 of us, and half of them, or over half of them, had abilities of some sort, including myself, but mine were completely shut down. But what I had to do was they would come in and they would come out of the building and feel an attachment of some kind, like something was with them.
Okay.
And I was clearing people as they were coming out. And they'd go back in and I'd clear them again. And then the last lady, we actually had to do some extra stuff with, and she refused to go back in.
Oh, wow.
And after that, I told Jay, I said, I'm exhausted. I have to go home.
Right. Of course.
You know, but it was really weird. But it's very interesting to hear you say that you got shut down too.
No, it's blowing my mind that you had the same experience.
I know.
So did Michelle.
Yeah, Michelle did too.
She was shut down completely. So where 3 or 4 were shut down, the rest of them were on like overload.
Yeah.
And now I'm kind of glad I don't have y'all's ability, and I just sit there and meter flash.
Okay, we actually have a question already in the chat room. If you've just said that this place is actually quite a young location.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you investigate a location first, can't it do one of two things? Completely block you out or cause happenings through the power of suggestion? What do you think, Kitsie?
Okay. Say the question one more time. I don't think I was tracking you.
It said, if you investigate a location first, can't it do one of two things? Either completely block you out or cause happenings through the power of suggestion.
I don't see. These are the answers I want. I'm not sure. I really don't know. I feel like, in my experience, if a location has not been investigated very often, I feel like I go into every location with a really, really open mind. So there's no power of suggestion for me. I'm just waiting for them to let me know what they want to let me know. Does that answer the question?
I actually agree with you there. I think if it's a location that's very rarely investigated or not been investigated before, and if, we asked you the question, do you research? You said no. If you don't know the history, how can there be a power of suggestion before you go in? So otherwise, yes, okay, you're going to a location assuming that it's haunted. But if you're a proper paranormal investigator, you don't assume anything.
Right.
And you are in there as a case of interest more than anything else.
Exactly. No, I totally agree. We've recently investigated the Culbertson Mansion in New Albany. It's actually our latest full episode that's up on our YouTube page. Just search for Oddity Files Crew, and it's up there. And I found out later it had been investigated once before. I thought we were the first people that were in there, but it was years and years prior to when we were in there. I didn't even know if the place was haunted, to be perfectly honest. So we just did what we do. And we started getting answers, and I think I brought somebody home with me from there, which I'm okay with. She's adorable. I love her to death. She's been a little quiet lately, so I'm concerned. But, yeah, I think you need to go into any place with an open mind. If you want to do your research beforehand, that's fine. I don't even really want to know what activity they have in these places prior to myself being there. I kind of want to be surprised when I go in. Do you guys feel the same way?
Yeah, I would prefer, personally speaking, from the UK perspective, not to do the research. However, lately I am actually dealing with 2 cases where I'm actually in-depth researching before we go in. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Normally I don't at all. I prefer to go in cold.
I can only imagine how much you have to research on those buildings over there. They've been around since before the U.S. even came about. So
Right.
Well, one particular location isn't too bad. It's only post-war, so it's not horrendous. Well, it's still quite horrendous, but it's not as bad as the 14th century building that I'm doing as well. What the heck was that?
You talk about the ghosts and they come home with you.
Yeah, that's the one that's just knocked something off my side.
No, she sounds concerned. I think that's legit what happened.
Right?
I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm moving swiftly on. Anyway, carry on. Sorry, Kitsie.
I think you were telling me about the 14th century.
Oh, yes, sorry.
No, that's good.
The 14th century building I'm researching is an absolute quagmire of, oh my goodness, a lot of it I'm going to have to go visiting record places and, pile through multiple records to actually find out the information. But it's that side of it I find incredibly interesting, as well as going into a location cold. That's where we was heading with this, isn't it? Carry on, ladies.
I prefer to go in and not know that much, but Jay does the research.
Okay.
But he knows.
I bet you every one of you is saying that you'd like to go that don't know anything, which is cool. But I guarantee you everyone has somebody on their team that goes in that does know, because that way they can kind of confirm and stuff like that with which direction you guys are going with it. Don't lead you, but, kind of like, okay, take notes. That's what I do with Teresa. I don't. Yeah. That's what they said. I make sure I record what she says, because I also recorded what the walkthrough or the historian told me. And then later on, you can compare the two and go, look, see how accurate you were and stuff. I don't judge. I stay completely skeptic about it and stay detached as much as possible.
I've started taking notes on things that I get that come to me on our way to a location that I've never been to.
Yeah.
See, they write notes too. You guys kill me. You guys are just like now you're making me believe in a collective consciousness. This just has to be the empaths, psychics,
Right?
and mediums.
It's not so much that, though, is it? It's about, if you've not researched it or know anything at all about the location apart from the name, that when you go in, particularly as working as a sensitive, which is what I personally class myself as, if I get anything at all and I say it on the night, I know it's not led from previous knowledge that I may have forgotten, that's come from like a subconscious level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I know then that I have not looked into it, so I can't possibly know it. So where has that come from? So that adds that level of interest to me. Secondly, yes, it's really important to have on the team somebody who has researched it so they can verify it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, Kitsie, on your team...
We don't have one of those.
Oh, you don't?
Why? We go to these places to tell the story that place has to tell us. We go by the evidence, and it's not all what my crazy, like I like to call it. It's not all that. It's the evidence we get by a spirit box, by any source of evidence collection we get there. I just tell that story because, I mean, how much of history is not even documented? And maybe that's the spirit that wants to deal with us that night.
That's actually very, very true. I think there's a lot of the base stories, I think both sides of the pond is the layman, the normal everyday person, that those people won't get recorded.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the little girl who followed me home from Culbertson, little girl, she's 15 or 13, somewhere in there. A psychic medium friend of mine sees her as 13, but she told us she was 15 that night. But she was a servant girl. So there's no documentation on her. But she was the one that spoke to us all night long. So I don't know.
I don't know either. Wow. We've actually had another question from Mark Ridout. He said, if you go to the same location first with a lot of activity, then go again with nothing, how do you feel about something like that?
Oh, that pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie.
Y'all did ask for honest answers. Kitsie will give them to you.
This is true. Kitsie is a straightforward talking kind of girl, guys.
Yes, she is.
No filter here, people. No filter whatsoever. No, it does, because again, I'm going to bring up a location. I'm going to pull the post town card. First time I was there, insane activity, shadows, stuff everywhere. Second time I went back, absolutely nothing. I was like,
wow.
I told you guys, I told all my friends how awesome this place is. I bring them there, and it was dead. But then I went back a third time, and it was crazy active again. So we have a theory. I don't know what you guys think about this. If a place is investigated constantly, over and over, 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 7 days a week, do you feel like that drains the spirit energy and they're just not able to communicate as well?
Personally, I wouldn't say so. I would say they're not performing monkeys. They will do what they want to do when they want to do it. And if they feel that I find that if you go as a specific team on multiple investigations, you'll get better results than the odd team that pops in for an odd investigation. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
It depends on the dynamics of the team that go in.
Oh, I believe that 125%. If you have negative people on your team, the ghosts aren't going to want to interact with you.
No. Or if there is something negative there, that's what you'll get. I think that negative will attract negative.
That makes sense. Look at us just throwing theories around.
Why not? Let's do a throw the theory around kind of night. I mean, we have had another question saying then, so to what extent do you think you cause the activity? If you've got a really well-gelled team, you investigate an awful lot together. So, does that affect the activity? So it's not so much as the spirit's happy to interact with you, but how do you then manifest that activity? Because you're that well-gelled team going into that location several times.
I think that's a thing for sure. I 110% do. We've actually narrowed our team down recently to just 3 of us. We're just kind of testing a theory again. Sometimes I feel if you have too many people in your group, they're just going to kind of sit back and look at you guys and not know what to do. Again, theory. I don't have any proof of this. But our last few investigations, we've had 3 of us. And I think it's made all the difference in the world. And we're 3 like-minded, like-thinking people. And I think it honestly makes all the difference in the world. I had something else I was going to say, but my brain just farted all over my computer. I still have that paranormal hangover going on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you was out last night, wasn't you? Bless you. She rushed back thinking it was 7 p.m. UK time.
Yeah. I broke all the speed limits on the way from Cincinnati to Bloomington.
Oh gosh, you could have just stopped here.
That's true. She could have. Teresa, what's your thoughts on that?
I think that the more put together, I don't know, I can see it two ways. The more put together and cohesive your team is, the more you trust and rely on your teammates, I think you'll get really good reactions.
Yes.
But at the same time, where Jay and I come around where we like to investigate with other teams, you can learn so much from another team. And you can go and pick up something. Maybe the team that you're working with doesn't have an empath or a medium, and you can work with them.
Yeah.
So I think there's pros and cons to both sides, actually.
Well, like Andy Mercer just said in the chat room, but seeing it time and time again, a good group gets lots of activity, a flat group gets nothing. But that's also a good group. You have that, and it doesn't matter whether you're all on the same page or each people has a different perspective, a different opinion. You're in sync with one another. You have that trust. You have that openness. You rely on the other person to do their job. Where a flat team, they're not in sync with one another, and they're battling each other.
Well,
their wills and their energy are against one another, and it's all energy, right?
But at the same time, I think that even though, say, Kitsie and I aren't on the same team, we don't investigate all the time together.
You guys do.
I think that we could investigate together and get good interactions.
I agree.
But yeah, it's a trust thing.
Oh, for sure. I believe the energy your team brings to a location makes all the difference in the world. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? If you're open, there's skeptics, yes, but like legit asshole skeptics aren't going to be on a paranormal investigation unless they lost a bet. I mean, we can say that.
Right.
So I feel like you have to be open-minded on these things in order to get activity. Do you feel that way?
I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like paramedics said in the chat room, spirits can be attracted to a collective of sensitives rather than a group of debunkers, which is true because one's putting out positive energy, the other one's putting out negativity.
Yes.
I mean, just like us having a conversation, if you all thought my opinion was bullshit, you're not going to listen to it as much as what the person that you agree. It's the same thing. If it's the essence of a person,
right,
that personality is still there. You're going to like minds and like people tend to attract. Why wouldn't like spirits and like pot and tend to attract also? Or am I just talking?
No, you're spot on with that.
Yeah, it's like when if you meet somebody for the first time, you either gel with them or you find it a little awkward. Whereas if you gel with the people that you're working with on an investigation, whether you've met them or not before, then you, like Andy has said in the chat room, if you gel quickly, stuff happens. Right. If you don't, you kind of find stuff doesn't.
Right.
Right.
Kind of like when you meet somebody for the first time, you either click, like we click with you and with you and your husband, and then there's some other groups we met, and we're like, oh, that's cool, and have a good night. I'll see you later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks very much. See you. I don't want to be bad again.
Yeah, it's nothing bad against them. It's just a personality don't make.
Yeah.
And that happens. It's nothing that make them a bad person, you a bad person, or them a bad spirit and you a bad spirit. It's just your personalities, just your energies don't click.
Yeah.
So you go find the people that you do click with. So I say the spirits are the same way. If they click with you, they're going to react to you. If they're like, oh God, here comes that Jay again. He's such a dick. I'm not talking to him.
Well, they think,
oh my God, he's amazing. I want to talk to him.
Right. Like Clayton, every time we're at a location where there's children spirits, they're starting to talk to me more. I'm just putting this out there before I go on. But every location we're at, the children love to interact with Clayton. Love it. So I feel like it's a personality thing as well.
Kitsie, what episode was it of yours? And I watched one recently, and I'm sorry, I don't remember the location. But you and Clayton and Chris were in this large room, and you guys were sitting on the floor.
That's all of them so far.
and you kept seeing shadow movement in the little hallway going to the back.
It's a big mansion in Indiana.
Was the Wonder Box on the floor with us?
Later
I think
on
at one point it was.
It's that yellow mansion in Indiana. I can't remember the name.
Culbertson. That's where the Anna, she followed.
Yes. You guys picked up that name.
Yes.
Yeah, because I did watch that episode, and I was amazed because you guys were getting so much activity.
Brownie Point time. I've watched more episodes than just that one.
That was the most recent one. Shut up.
You know what, Teresa? That's my favorite one. So just watch that one. You're good.
I share them all the time too when she posts them.
Well, it was, you guys got so much activity that night.
It was insane. And that's where our theory started. You know, the less a place is investigated, is there going to be more activity, because that was the place where at the time we thought were the only team that had investigated there.
Right.
But we found out later there was another team several years before. But that's why it kind of backed up our theory that, you know, the more a place is investigated, the less they'll interact, or the less energy they have to interact. I mean, nothing's in this freaking industry is proven, for God's sakes. We know that, but it's just my experience that I've had is the more a place is investigated, the less activity is. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Never mind.
It's almost like somebody had once shared something with me, and it kind of made sense to me. And I may have told you guys this before, but somebody said, what if when we're created that God gives us X amount of energy, say 500 years worth of energy.
Right.
And you die when you're 20. Well, then you've got 480 years worth of energy that's going to be here, because it can't be destroyed.
Right.
So if you're at a location and I'm said to haunt that location, and everybody, you know, picks up on Teresa, and I'm investigated night after night after night after night.
Circus monkey.
Wouldn't you get, well, yeah, but wouldn't you also be getting tired? You know, you're going to get drained.
Yeah. Or what if they get bored with us, even?
Right.
No, sorry, guys. Sorry, I want to butt in at this point.
Yes, please.
No.
On a normal level, on a day-to-day basis, as a human living this life, there are days where you have more energy and there are days where you don't.
Absolutely.
Why is that different when you pass over?
You're right.
However, my point next is...
I love how you say however, by the way.
If we are born again, like reincarnated, as a lot of theories are out there, why would your energy from the past continue? Why would you be stuck sort of there? That's where I find that interesting.
Well, yeah. See, I don't think you're stuck anywhere. I think it's a
I agree with you. Anywhere. I don't think you're stuck anywhere. So does it then jump into what people are manifesting? Excuse me. What people are manifesting of what they imagine that haunting to be, rather than it actually being a spirit of Teresa, for example. So at some point, Teresa's moved on and she's been reborn and lived again. And then people are investigating that haunting and are manifesting that themselves because of alleged activity that's occurred previously. Or are they holding her in that place because they are investigating? Oh, there's a philosophical question for you guys.
Now.
I don't think any energy is held anywhere, because I just don't. It don't matter which side you want to go with it, whether you go to the scientific thing where energy is not bound to anything, and if you go with
energy just changes form.
Yeah, my thing is if you go with it on a biblical aspect, if I can't even say the word
aspect, I'll translate for you.
But anyway, I've always asked people, and I ask people who are very religious, I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that the one thing that God gave me that He didn't give animals or His angels or anything else is free will. Like, absolutely. I said, and the free will to deny him,
God,
even if I don't want to believe.
will.
Well, no, and they
You
go,
knew it was coming.
but I'm saying they go,
I did.
absolutely. I said, so you're telling me that when my physical form dies, I don't have free will anymore? I can't go where I want to. I can't travel where I want to. So I'm now bound and stuck. What kind of free will is that?
Okay.
I truly believe we have free will to move as our essence as a human being or as energy, whatever.
Okay, let's talk to our guest about this. Kitsie,
Oh, shit,
what's
the chat
your
room went
thoughts
nuts
on
on
that?
So
Conflicting concepts is what Andy Emma said in the chat room.
So, okay, that what you're saying makes sense, Jay. But what about when you're at a location and spirit's asking you for help to move on? What's that case scenario?
Well, then they're feeling bound. I don't think they're actually bound there. They've bound themselves. If I'm attached to something and I'm like, oh, I've been here for all this time, I want to stay, then everything that I was associated, okay, I pass on. I attach myself to Teresa, and she passes on and goes away, and I'm like, wait a minute, I stayed here because of her. Now she's gone. Now I don't know how to go. I don't think anybody can force them over either. I always get irritated, and I get a lot of people that, oh, I've crossed them over. So in the religious aspect, whichever deity you want to call, God or whatever, couldn't cross them over. They couldn't make them go, but you can. So
Right.
you have more power than the Almighty. You're bad. You're one bad son of a...
So this brings up can I kind of sort of change the subject?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course you can.
So there was an investigation that I was at called Revenant Acres, and we had a complete medium with. I'm an empath. I'm a sensitive, but I don't consider myself a medium in any way, shape, or form. But my friend Molly, they talked to her, and I wish I had that so bad, so bad. If you ever find a pill where I could do that, let me know. But so I felt the negative energy of this male presence there, and she confirmed that he was a complete dickhead asshole, hated him. But he was trapping another spirit there. Have you guys ever dealt with anything like that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, well, we thought we were doing that with the school at Post Town.
Really?
Mm-hmm. There for a little while. And we've also been to Revenant Acres.
I got nothing. I didn't have a single encounter or experience. I mean, there's some weird things that happen in the other rooms there, but I experienced nothing.
I know not everybody believes in the spirit box, but that is my jam. I love it. I've had full-on conversations with spirits on it. And this guy told me to fuck off because I was trying to help this other spirit who felt intimidated by him.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I don't
know.
think that they can. I don't think they can harm each other or anything while they're over there. But I think there is an intimidation factor.
There's an intimidation
I think
factor in
they're-
humanity. Why
Right.
wouldn't
That's
you
what I was
there?
going to say. If they're an intimidating person in real life, then why wouldn't you be an intimidating person when you pass over?
Preach, sister. Preach.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know, I don't think everything's just because something's negative. I don't think everything's the D word. I think it's just a grumpy asshole.
Preach. Preach.
Yeah.
I personally, not to get on a religious end of things, I don't believe in demons. I believe if there are demons, they're not going to mess with. Are you kidding me? Look at the state of the world today. But I
They
believe
got bigger fish to fry.
exactly. I believe there are a lot of asshole ghosts out there.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be one. You can bet on it. I'm going to be a pain in the ass to everybody. I'm going to mess with everybody. I'm going to knock their food off the table. Anything I can just irritate the shit out of every one of you, I'm doing it.
Preach.
That's true.
I'm honest about it.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why-
honestly, I love honest people. That's why I love you guys.
I tell people all the time, that's one of the reasons I find that I have people say, like, what do you investigate? What do you want trying to prove? I said, I'm trying to find out if I can truly stay and be an asshole to the world for eternity. I can float around and go over here, knock this Chinese kid's rice out of his hands, watch his mom whip him, and then go back over to this country and do something stupid just to have fun and be
Heaven
an
help
asshole.
us all.
Okay. Anyway, guys, putting it back to topic.
Sorry.
I love our producer.
I love our producer too.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, can we take it back to your attachment that you said you had?
Yes, Anna is her name.
Anna, and you did an episode called the Instrumental Transcommunication Wonderbox Session.
Yes.
What's a Wonderbox?
So, I may or may not watch every paranormal show that's on TV. I may or may not be a complete addict to this stuff. But on one of the shows, they had a Wonder Box. My husband and I, we were off doing the day job thing, sitting in the hotel room. I'm like, babe, paranormal lockdown's on. I got to watch this. So, and then one of the rare times he actually sat down and watched one of those shows with me, the Wonder Box premiered. What they are no longer made for now, is they're something to hook your spirit box up to. It's got reverb. It's got crystals on it. It's covered in copper wire, and it has this huge battery brick attached to it too. Mm-hmm. So I feel the reason I get more activity with that box is the combination of the crystals, the energy that's being pumped into that. Other than, when you do just a regular spirit box, you've got 3 AAA batteries in there. It's the copper wire, and it's pretty. It's so pretty.
She likes her Wonder Box.
She does. I've seen said Wonder Box, and I was like, okay, interesting concept.
Yeah, it's stunning. Actually, Steve Huff from Huff Paranormal is the man who created them, mm-hmm. and has recently quit because of a bad experience he had. He became addicted to the thing and was communicating and trying to cross spirits over from hell and stuff like that, and it just affected him very, very badly. So right now he's no longer making them. But I'm excited I have one. Because I love it.
I have seen said Wonder Box. Yeah, carry on.
And now my biggest concern with the Wonder Box is we did a couple out-of-state investigations recently, and I don't go to any investigation without this thing. It is a little bit of a crutch for me, but it was trying to figure out how to get it on the plane, because you've seen the box, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It's a little large.
It looks like a bomb.
Guys, sorry, if you want to have a look at this, what we're talking about, check out the Oddity Files. And check into the Step Cemetery episode, and it's on the tree stump is where you can see it. Anyway, carry on, Kitsie, sorry.
You can find that at oddityfiles.com, and it looks like a bomb. So I didn't want to try to carry it onto the airplane, because how do I explain this to TSA?
Right. No, it's not a bomb.
It's not, but it looks like one. And so I had to get a new Pelican case, and it's so beautiful, and it holds my Wonder Box, and I can take it everywhere now. So I'm a happy girl. My husband knows what makes me happy and how to make it happen.
Now, there's a question in the chat room, and Max wants to know, is it possible for the spirit or soul to step out of the human body while it is still living and create a living haunt?
Ooh.
We've got some very philosophical questions coming in tonight.
Wow.
In the chat room there, I don't see why not. If people have what are the lucid dreams?
Yeah. And you can astral project.
Yeah, so why not? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
But I think if they did that, I wonder if it would be somebody that really, truly doesn't know what they're doing.
Oh, for sure.
And they're doing it accidentally. Can you imagine going to a private investigation and they're saying, no, that's your son doing the haunting. No, he's still alive. No, I'm telling you, your son's the one doing the haunting. They think you were nuts.
Yeah, probably.
It's one of those conceptual things, though, isn't it? It's one of those things where you go, we can't explain it. There's a lot of theories and concepts that get muddled along the way. So are we a mental manifestation in regards to haunting? Are we mentally manifesting in regards to haunting? Or are we actually haunting and just changing form from physical into spiritual? Are we dissipating over time? Are we reincarnating? There's so many different concepts that you have to look at, and you can it's very difficult, isn't it? Is it transdimensional even? There's a transdimensional kind of theory out there.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to discount anything, really. I mean, I'm open to all kinds of theories. Some of them are a little more out there than others, but I mean, that was a really interesting question, because why not? If all this other stuff can happen, why can't that?
Yeah, I agree. Paramedic answered him and said the simple answer is yes. We can astral travel through our subconscious dreams, giving the illusion of a haunting.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm open to whatevs. I never discount it. Except demons. Demons, they don't come to Earth.
They got better things to do.
Preach.
As I say, there are a lot of different theories and concepts out there that you can muddle, and I don't know. I mean, like I say, you can muddle a lot of concepts up together and come up with different theories but because we can't prove any theory at this moment, it's very difficult to know what we're doing.
That's one thing I love about this field is there is so many thoughts to ponder, and yet you still can't prove any of it.
Right. So Kitsie, and you've investigated so many different places. What's been your favourite out of everything you've done? What has been your favourite?
Well, I've got two kinds of favorites. The kind that terrified me the most, because I mean, we're ghost hunters. We like to be scared, right? Is Lake County Jail in Crown Point, Indiana. That was my most terrifying experience I'd ever had. It's actually the jail that the mobster from back in the day, Dillinger, had escaped from in the 30s, I think. Again, I don't do research, so I don't know. But there was just some intense energy. I mean, the skeptics on our team at the time walked in the building and they're like, what the hell is this place? So they had their first experiences of there's somebody standing behind me watching me, but I can't see them. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it kind of showed them a little bit about what I feel like when I'm at these locations. So they got that feeling of, you know, something's there. You can't see it. You don't really know a whole lot about it, but it's kind of scary. And right now, Culbertson is my top. That's where Anna came from, the yellow house with the wonder box sitting on the floor, just because that location was so stunning. It was beautiful. It was clean. I didn't have to worry about dust orbs in the lens. You know what I'm saying? It was air conditioned. It was heated, and it was just beautiful. And of course, you know, that's not a place where you can just sign up to investigate there. We had to have special permission to get in there, but you can do tours of the place. And if I ever win the lottery, I will buy that from whoever I have to. I want it so bad. Stunning. And that's one of my favorite things about paranormal investigating is I'm an architecture nut on top of it all. And some of these buildings are just so lovely. Oh, and
yes, they are.
UK, are you kidding me? I'm so jealous.
I can't imagine, especially, Kitsie, can you imagine going over there where Carrie's at?
That's what I'm
In
saying.
England.
I'm so jealous.
Oh, I know.
She's worried about coming over here. We're worried about getting over there.
I know.
I know. And we'll probably meet in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere going, oh my God, I'm going to your locations. Oh my God, I'm going to yours.
Right.
No, honest. Yeah. I mean, we do. I'm not going to lie. We have some amazing locations, but a lot of the old locations that you would love to get into and investigate, you can't because they're owned by the National Trust or the, places like that. So we can't get into some of the ultimate bucket list locations that you would think you would want to. Do you know what I mean? Like the Tower of London, you can't investigate there.
God.
Oh, I would love to.
Yeah, we would all love to. You
I just
can't.
There and just walking through in the middle of the day, the tour, I had Paranormal Activity. Are you kidding me? Would love to be in a lockdown in that place.
It's amazing, that place. But
if I get locked down in this kind of place, I think it'll be paranormal.
I mean, I go at least once a year to the Tower of London because I love it. I absolutely adore it. And you can't pin it down because there's too many people around. It's packed all the time, even up to the point of closing. It is packed out. Wow. You can't pin it down. So you can't investigate in any way, shape or form there. Yes, I would love to get in there. Don't you think I've tried? Still trying. You're not going to get in there. And we have a lot of locations you just can't get into. Or we have a lot of locations that are, like you said earlier in the show, Kitsie, they're investigated all the time.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult sometimes. But I look at what you've got over there and I think the same. I think, I'd love to do the Queen Mary. I'd love to do Gettysburg. I'd love to do, there are so many places around the world I would love to get in and investigate. Literally, my bucket list is huge. And as one person said earlier to me today, I need to increase my bucket size.
Time to get a bigger bucket.
Exactly. I was like,
we need to work on something when I come over there next year and we need to investigate together.
I completely agree with you, Kitsie. We need to sort that out.
Yeah, because I'll be over there from work and I got the hookup that you want. So let's do that.
Let's brush each other's backs on that one.
Oh, what about me? I'm stowed away in your luggage. I'm going somewhere, damn it.
No, that's where the wonder box goes, Jay.
I wonder if I could put myself in a cargo box and ship me there.
Right? They might notice if we poke holes in the top of it.
That's why I stripped the last time. I forgot the holes.
Yep.
Damn.
But we do have some amazing locations. But you guys have some amazing locations too. So it's,
Just don't watch the American TV because they all got demons or they all have Native American burial grounds on them. Every place has it.
Mate, I'm coming over there to debunk that. Anyway, Kitsie, you was out last night. So what was you investigating last night?
We were at the Haunted Higginsport School. And what's funny is I just said, usually it's the three of us lately, but my son, Carter, who's a part of our crew and our cameraman, wasn't able to make it last night. So it was just Clayton and I. And at one point, we heard footsteps rushing toward us. Like Jay said earlier, I ended up grabbing Clayton's hand, covering my face with it. I've never been so terrified before in my life. I don't know if it was just because it was the two of us. But so we regrouped. We looked at each other and we're like, we can't let it know we're scared.
At that point, it's too late.
Yeah.
If you're saying, I was just about to say that. If you're saying that, it's too late.
It calmed down a little bit, but some of these places, it's like, I feel like they're testing us out as much as we're testing them out.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're right. I think sometimes, I think that works like that.
We've got all the theories.
T?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts of that?
Listener hack.
Oh.
least she turned her mic off. No, I think they test us sometimes too. I really do. And what I got to test out now is that we're actually getting kind of down on the last few minutes. So I want to make sure, Kitsie, I have been putting your links to your YouTube webpage and Facebook page in the chat rooms on both Paramania and on the live Facebook feed. But I would like you to throw them out there also.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So check us out. I know a lot of paranormal peeps love to check the YouTube. So go there and go search for Oddity Files Crew. Click on that link. Don't click on the Oddity Files link because that's a debunked account that they screwed me over on. So it's Oddity Files Crew. Or you can go to oddityfiles.com and that has every episode on it. I think you can only see the Post Town episode with Jay and Teresa on our YouTube page, though. I think that is a YouTube exclusive.
Oh, damn. We just got a cheap pop. Thank you.
Check it out on the YouTube page. Definitely, because that's where I found the information. And don't forget, this show gets repeated on ParaSearch Radio through the Spreaker app on a Monday evening. If you missed the beginning of it, it's been a fascinating, interesting show, as always, Kitsie. We could have spoken to you for a hell of a lot longer. Right, as always, with our guests on a Monday, we tend to run out of time. Oh, my God. Where does the time go?
I know.
She tried to, that English accent tries to sound like a Valley girl. Oh, my God.
Oh, my God. No, that's my Essex. I go into the only way is Essex at this point of the evening.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I had so much fun. And thanks for letting me bounce ideas off of you guys, the whole sensitive thing, because I do that as anytime I meet any other sensitives. And Teresa, I've been meaning to talk to you about this forever, but I like to put ideas off people. So
I'm always available for you, Kitsie.
Awesome. I was just about to say the same. If you ever want to after show or after dark kind of private chat, then feel free, because me and Teresa will always be happy to talk to you about anything in private, as well as on another show, because I do feel we've only just scratched the surface with you, Kitsie.
There's a lot there, trust me.
I know, I can tell. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for getting in touch. It's been an absolute blast. I've enjoyed watching some of your YouTube videos and looking at your webpage, which is www.oddityfiles.com. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh, I'm so good. I'm so sorry. I have an ego that comes out onto the table occasionally. I can't help myself.
Occasionally.
Women do.
Occasionally. Oh, I want to thank you all for being with us, Kitsie. Thank you. It's always wonderful to talk with you. And we will have you back on again, because I just enjoy the hell out of it, and time went way too quick.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
Y'all don't go anywhere. Chris and Wayne's coming up next.
Good night.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on ParaSearch Radio.